All right, so this video is going to be discussing the difference between friend zone and sex zone, and like some of the things maybe to look for, and maybe understanding of what the other party might be going through on each one. Now, friend zone is mostly associated with a woman putting a guy in the friend zone, and then sex zone usually associated with a guy putting a woman in the sex zone, meaning she's only good for sex in his eyes and isn't the caliber of woman he wants to upgrade to a girlfriend and or wife. And same thing on the woman side with the friend zone guy. Guy's not, for whatever reason, a person she wants to upgrade to a boyfriend or potentially a husband, even though both people in that zone usually care deeply about the person and want the upgrade, right? So first of all, I just want to say, whether you're a guy that's friend zone or a woman that's sex zone, it's a very unfortunate spot to be in, because usually these people would make great companions for the party. Usually a person that, you know, has unconditional love for them, is ready to kind of like do whatever they have to make them happy. So they usually like are really good candidates on paper for the companion. Just for whatever reason, that person's not attracted to you in that way. So on the guy side, being friend zone, it's usually more obvious just because you're not actually getting the intimacy. You just basically have the friendship. You may go out on what feels like a date, meaning, you know, you go out with your female friend. Usually these guys are kind of on the simpish side, meaning they're usually paying and not really getting anything back in exchange. And you have the companionship, and you know you're able to communicate with this person. You have access to them. You just don't have the intimacy maybe that you wanted from an actual relationship. And the reason women put guys in that group is they're either not physically attracted to them, or it could be more like they don't have the same admiration and respect for the guy that they want to. Like they want maybe a person that's a little bit more macho, maybe he's a little bit feminine or what have you. So it might not necessarily be physical. So it could be physical, but she's either not attracted to his personality in a relationship point of view, or just not really physically attracted to him in the way that she would need to be to have a relationship. Now, for guys, when they put women in the sex zone, it's usually different. So it's usually, there may be mild physical attraction, or they may be really physically attracted to her. But it's for whatever reason, there's something about her, looks like personality or character, that makes it unappealing for him to want to upgrade into a relationship. You know, he might think she's a little ghetto, or maybe he feels like she's got too promiscuous of a past, or it just may not be physically attracted to her enough. Like, you know, maybe she's mildly cute and he wants someone that looks a little bit better, or maybe he doesn't like her body and he wants someone with a nicer body that's in better shape, or, you know, more curves, less curves, whatever. So something about her that he can't quite get over. And what both parties need to understand is it's not something you can debate them into. You're not going to persuade them to feel this way and change their mind about how they feel about you. They can't even change their mind. A lot of times, if a guy puts someone in the sex zone, he knows this woman would treat me well. She really loves me and she cares about me and she'll do whatever I ask. I just don't have that attraction to her, you know, or this one aspect of her personality just makes it impossible for me to want to elevate her. And so it's nothing they can do about it. Now, there are people that will force the relationship where the guy recognizes, hey, he has her sex zone, but after years he just caves, I'm gonna try a relationship with you. Or vice versa with the woman that has the gentleman friend zone. After years, okay, let's try to force a relationship. But for them, it's still a form of settling, and that nagging, settling feeling may at some point bother them to the point where they end their relationship or treat the person, you know, poorly, you know, not as good as they should be treated, because they really don't have the admiration, respect. They don't really feel like they've won by having you in their life. They feel more like they've settled, and maybe resent the fact that they couldn't find what they really wanted, and now they're kind of stuck with you. And so you don't want, I don't care what you feel about someone, you never want someone to feel like they settled for you, or that they're stuck with you, or you're like some kind of consolation prize. That's not really like the admiration that you're going to want, that's going to lead to like a healthy relationship where you're being treated well. It's not a situation where you're just giving and that there's no reciprocation. But it's tough. I think it's riskier for women only because they're getting the physical intimacy. They might ward off dating other guys, because a lot of women that have respect for their bodies and they want to keep their body count reasonably low, they may not want to sleep with other guys or date other guys, and so they're in this situation where they're sex zoned with someone who's never going to upgrade them, but they're also not seeing other people, so they're basically just wasting months and years. And for women, depending on if you don't have kids yet, you want to start a family, sometimes that starting a family, having kids window is really narrow, and so you don't want to blow off years of an already really small window of time with a guy where it's not going anywhere, and all of a sudden you hit panic mode at 27, 28, 29 years old, and you're desperately looking for a husband because you feel like you're running out of time and your friends are getting married off or what have you. And so with a guy, sometimes when they're the friends, they may still date. I mean, they're kind of in love with this woman that's friend zoned them usually, and so it's unfortunate to the people they date just because they might not be dating with an open mind and open heart, but they may still date because she's dating, and they may find someone that kind of pulls them out of that situation. So it's detrimental for guys too, but because there's not physical intimacy involved, it's usually a little easier to get away from. Whereas with the woman, she's getting almost like 80 to 90% of a relationship, with the communication and being able to see him and having intimacy. She's just not getting the commitment or the respect of a companion. And so she has so much of a relationship, it may be enough to hold on to. And there's women that'll waste, 5-10 years being sex zoned and knowing it's a dead end situation, but they're just hoping they can persuade the guy or wear him down, or maybe he'll change his mind. So it's really risky if you're in one of those groups, whether you're friend zoned as a guy or sex zoned as a woman. It's an unfortunate place to be. And if you are in that zone, hopefully you can, build up enough strength to get out of that and feel like you deserve better, and find someone that likes and respects you like you like and respect this person, and recognize there's nothing really they can do about it. If they're not feeling you on that level, no amount of time or persuasion is really going to change their mind. You just kind of have to accept that fact and move on, and try not to waste valuable years on a dead-end option. All right? Until next time, be different.